For a human being, food is a constant obsession. We are high-speed energy-burning machines. Miss just one meal, and our bodies begin to send out alarms of distress. In our world, fasting is a choice, but in the natural world, it is a death sentence, or the ultimate test of evolution. Why we would collapse after just a few weeks without fuel. There is an elite group of creators that have started the laws of biology. They don't just endure hunger, they master it. They have to learn to flip a switch on their metabolism, freezing times and entering a state of dormancy so deep that the line between life and death begins to vanish. They are the master of patience, creators that can go without food for not just days or months, but years, and in some cases, decades, only to wake up and resume their life as if time has stood still. Welcome to a journey to the furthest edge of survival. Today, we are counting down the top 7 animals that can surpass the limits of hunger. Prepare to be amazed, because the survival of at number 1 might just make you believe that immortality is real. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in the lightless labyrinths of European cave, lives a creature that has forgotten the meaning of none or night. This is the Om, Proteus agonis, also known as the baby dragon. In an environment where a single crumb of organic matter is a miracle, the Om has evolved a strategy that seems almost supernatural. It has mastered the art of doing absolutely nothing. The Om is a biological anomaly because its cave home is constantly cold and devoid of predators. It has the slowest metabolism of almost any vertebrate. While almost animals burn fuel just to stay awake, the Om enters a state of physiological stasis. In 2020, researchers were stunned to find a group of Oms that has remained in the exact same spot for over 2,569 days. That is 7 years of total immobility. But that's just the beginning. Laboratory studies have shown that an Om can survive for up to 10 years without a single morsel of food. It achieves this by shrinking its internal organs and absorbing its own tissue so efficiently that it barely loses any body mass. But here is the most shocking part. Despite this extreme fast, the Om is not fragile. It can live for over 100 years, maintaining its youthful, larval experience its entire life, a phenomenon known as neoteny. It is the ultimate matter of the long game. In a world of high-speed hunters, the Om survives by becoming a ghost, a living reminder that in the depth of the earth, patience isn't just a vital, it is the only way to stay alive. But as we leave the silence of the cave, we head to the African savanna to meet a fish that turns itself into a brick just to survive the heat. In the heart of the African savanna, when the sun turns the rivers to dust, most aquatic life face a brutal end. But the lungfish has spent 400 million years perfecting a survival trick that blurs the line between life and fossilization. This is a fish that refuses to die when the waters disappear. Instead, it's prepared to be buried alive. As the last puddles evaporate, the lungfish uses its muscular fins to burrow nearly a foot deep into the mud. Once submerged, it secretes a thick layer of mucus from its skin. This slime hardens into a waterproof, leathery cocoon, a living sarcophagus that seals the fish mortar inside. With only a tiny tube left open to the surface for air, the lungfish enter a state of activation. This is far more intense than sleep. Its metabolism drops to just 1/60th of its normal rate. It stops producing waste, and its heart rate slows to a rhythmic thrum that is barely detectable. For the next 4 years, the lungfish will not eat a single thing. It survives by doing the unthinkable. It slowly digests its own muscle mass. It consumes itself from the inside out to keep its vital organs functioning. When the rains finally return and the parched earth softens, the lungfish dissolves its cocoon and wriggles out of the mud, blunt but very much alive. It has successfully cheated death by waiting for a world that literally forgot it existed. But as we move from the mud of Africa, we head to the riverbank to meet a prehistoric giant that used its own tail as a massive, 3-year battery. When we think of the crocodile, We imagine a relentless killing machine, a creator of pure aggression. But the secret to its 200 million years range on Earth isn't just its ability to kill, its incredible ability to wait. As cold-blooded expert predators, crocodiles have mastered a form of energy management that makes them the most efficient large-scale survival in the animal kingdom. Unlike us, a crocodile doesn't burn energy to stay warm, it harvests heat from the sun. This efficiency allows them to store almost everything they eat. After a massive feast, such as a 200-pound wild beast, the crocodile funnels the excess nutrients into its thick, muscular tail. This tail becomes a massive biological battery. During periods of extreme drought or when prey disappears, the crocodile can shut down its non-essential system. Its heart rate can drop to just 2 or 3 beats per minute. In this state of suspended animation, a healthy crocodile can survive for up to 3 years without a single meal. They are not starving, they are simply operating on a low power mode that no mammal could ever achieve. For the crocodile, time is a weapon. It can watch a watering hole for months, motionless, waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't need to hunt every day because it carries its kitchen on its back. This solar-powered lifestyle means that while other predators die off during a famine, the crocodile simply watches and waits. It is a prehistoric titan that's proof that in nature, the strongest aren't always those who hunt the most, but those who can survive the longest silence. But as we leave the heat of the river, we head to the sub-zero forest of the north to meet a creator that literally turns into ice to skip its meal. In the frozen forests of Alaska and the Arctic Circle, survival isn't about finding food. It's about surviving a world that has turned into solid ice. Most animals migrate or burrow deep underground, but the wood frog lives whole beneath severe seasons. There's something that defies the very definition of death. It doesn't just hide from the winter, it's let the winter take it. When the temperature hits the freezing point, the wood frog's heart stops. It stops breathing, its blood ceases to flow. For all intents and purposes, the frog is clinically dead. But inside itself, a miracle is happening. As the frog begins to freeze, its liver floods its body with massive amounts of glucose, a natural sugar that acts as a biological antifreeze. This prevents the water inside itself from turning into a dark ice crystal that will shatter its organs. While two-thirds of its body water turns into solid ice, its vital cell remains protected in a syrupy, life-preserving liquid. In this frozen state, the wood frog requires no oxygen and zero calories. It can remain in this ice block state for up to 8 months a year, after year. It is a master of the zero energy lifestyle. When spring arrives, the frog thaws from the inside out. Within a minute, its heart begins to spark back to life. It doesn't look for food. It doesn't wait for recovery. Despite not eating for nearly 250 days, it immediately heads to the nearest pond to find meat. It is a it is a resurrection that happens every single year. But as we leave the frozen north, we head to the isolated islands of the Pacific to meet a giant that moves so slowly. Its fuel lasts for an entire century. On the isolated volcanic outpost of the Pacific, Tamu Tifuli, he lives a titan that is a living relic of bygone era, the Galapagos giant tortoise. These creatures are the heavyweights of endurance. They can weigh over 900 pounds and live for more than 150 years. But their greatest evolutionary achievement isn't yet it. It is their incredible ability to thrive on almost nothing. The secret to the tortoise's survival is its slow burn metabolism. Every movement is calculated and deliberate. By operating at such a slow pace, they require significantly less fuel than any mammal of their size. But it's their internal storage that is truly legendary. A Galapagos tortoise possesses massive internal reservoirs for water and highly efficient fat storage compartments. In times of extreme drought or scarcity, they can survive for up to 1 year without eating a single blade of grass or drinking a single drop of water. They simply retreat into their shell, slow their system to a crawl, and wait for the seasons to change. This biological resilience was so effective that it nearly led to their extinction. In the 18th and 19th centuries, sailors and whalers would collect hundreds of tortoises and store them in the dark holes of their ships. They knew this survival monster would stay alive and healthy for months without any food or water, providing fresh meat for the crew. Today, they stand as icons of conservation and endurance. They are the living proof that in the race of life, the one who finished last is often the one who survives the longest. But as we leave these terrestrial giants, we head into the deep blue void to meet a nomad of the shadows that carries its own massive energy bank in its liver. In the popular imagination, the great white shark is a relentless eating machine, a monster that must kill constantly to fuel its massive frame. But the reality is far more sophisticated. The open ocean is an oceanic desert, a vast space where prey is rare and scarce. To rule this kingdom, the great white has evolved from a simple predator into a high-efficiency long-distance nomad. The secret to this great white's endurance lies within its massive liver, taking up nearly 25% of its total body weight. The shark's liver is a colossal storage tank for energy-rich oils and lipids. After a successful hunt, typically a high-fat meal like a seal or a whale carcass, the shark doesn't just burn those calories immediately, it converts them into a massive reserve of biological fuel. This allows a great white to travel over 12 million miles across the empty Pacific without needing to stop for a single snack. Scientists have tracked individual sharks that have grown for over 1 year between major meals while still maintaining the strength to hunt at moment's notice. Unlike other fish, the great white is built for energy-efficient cruising. By using its pectoral fins like the wings of a glider, it can stay in motion within minimal effort, allowing it to patrol the void for months to end. It is a master of the big meal, long wait strategy. It is not a glutton, it is a strategic investor of energy. But as we leave the king of the oceans, we shrink down to a scale so small it's invisible to the naked eyes, to meet a creator that doesn't just survive years, it survives decades of starvation. We have seen titans and predators, but the undisputed champions of survival is a creature you can't even see. Meet the tardigrade, or the water bear. Measuring less than a millimeter long, this tiny invertebrate has survived all 5 of Earth's mass extinctions. It doesn't just survive years without food, it defies the very biological boundaries of what it means to be alive. When the environment turns deadly, whether through drought, radiation, or extreme cold, the tardigrades enter a state called cryptobiosis. It retracts its head and its legs, expel 97% of its body water, and survival into a dry, dormant ball known as a ton. In this state, its metabolism stops completely. Its heart doesn't just slow down, it vanishes. To the laws of physics, the tardigrade is a piece of dust. In this suspended animation, it can survive for 30 years without a single drop of water or a single molecule of food. When moisture finally returns, the ton rehydrates, and within minutes, the tardigrade simply walks away and starts eating again. Tardigrades have been sent into the vacuum of space, exposed to the sub-zero temperatures and deadly solar radiation, and they came back unharmed. They are the ultimate insurance policy for life on Earth. They prove that life doesn't need to be big or fast to be powerful. Sometimes, the most indestructible force in the universe is a tiny, patient bear that knows how to wait out the end of the world. From the deepest cave to the vacuum of space, these 7 masters of the fast has redefined our understanding of life. They, they remind us that survival isn't always about the struggle or the hunt. Sometimes, it's about the quiet strength of doing absolutely nothing. We live in a world that tells us to constantly move, to constantly consume. But these animals show us that there is a different way, a biological gen that allows life to endure even the hardest silence. They don't just survive the wait, they owe it. If you could have one of these survival superpowers, what would it be? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the extreme of nature, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to join our pride. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the wild, the one who waits is often the one who wins. We will see you in the next one.